Hello, welcome back to some 1968 Strat-O-Matic baseball and my Johnny Bench career replay. At least uh, that's where we're aiming for. So today you can see the Reds are in St. Louis to take on the National League champion St. Louis Cardinals. They were the champions in 67 and 68. Um, as you also can see, the Reds come in at 8-4, and the Cardinals come in at 7-5. This is the fourth matchup between these two teams. The Reds have won 2 out of 3 so far. They split 2 in Cincinnati last week. Today is Wednesday, April the 24th, 1968, by the way, in the replay. And then they won last night's game by a final score of 9-7. For 1968, we've had some barn burners. I know the Braves, we just finished a series in Cincinnati with the Braves, and the score was Cincinnati 16-10, Atlanta 10-7, and Cincinnati 9-1. So nobody told those two teams that we were in 1968, the year of the pitcher. Crosley Field is a very offensive park. So when you play the park, the super advanced park ratings, the parks definitely come into play. So having said that, here at Busch Stadium, which was inaugurated in 1966, so this is their third year, still with grass before they put in the turf, and then later end up going back to grass before their new stadium they're in now. You can see we have a good night for baseball, and very 1-2, 1-3 for lefties. Righties 1-7 for singles, 1-5 for home runs for right-handed hitters. So pitchers park, and of course we have Bob Gibson's year this year. So when we face him, I will definitely put that one on the channel. But the starting pitchers tonight is Tony Cloninger, which is the Reds' fifth starter, going against the second starter for the Braves, or for the Cardinals rather, Nelson Briles. So he will be getting the start tonight for the Cardinals. So without further ado, we will get this game started. Again, the Reds in second place at 8-4, the Cardinals in third place at 7-5. The Pittsburgh Pirates are leading the National League currently with a 9-3 record. They actually got off to an 8-0 start, but have lost 3 of their last 4 as they are facing, I believe the Dodgers are in town for their games. Let me just double check that. Yeah, the Dodgers are in Pittsburgh. And then San Francisco is in Philadelphia. Houston is in New York. And Atlanta is taking on the Cubs in Chicago. So I have the out-of-town scoreboard, and I have it to where I don't see the results, so we can follow along with that. The thing about Strat-O-Matic's out-of-town scoreboard is it doesn't give you the innings, so I don't know if the games are completed or not, but I can give you scores as we go along. So anyway, for the Reds, Lee May has been injured for, I think he was out 6 games, so this is the last game he will be injured. He will be back tomorrow and Thursday. The Reds are off, and then they will begin a home series with the New York Mets. Their first matchup with them this year. They have a 3-game weekend series, and then they go on a long western road trip to Houston, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and then back home to take on the Phillies. So that's kind of their lineup schedule coming up. All right, so leading off for the Reds will be the left-handed hitting center fielder, Vada Pinson. He's hitting .268 with 2 RBIs, as you can see. Briles is 1-1 with a 2 ERA. He beat the Reds in a 4-2 Cardinal victory last week in Cincinnati. So he will see if he can get his second win of the year versus the Cincinnati Redlegs. So here we go. Here's Vada Pinson, and we get a 6-8 versus a left-handed pitcher, and he got a 9, so he just misses a triple. So a 6-8 and a 9 on the 20-sided die, and that's a leadoff base hit for Vada Pinson as he grounds one past Cepeda. Roger Maris in right field will throw it back in, and the Reds, who are leading the National League by a large margin in team batting, start off with a single here. So Briles holds at a -1. McCarver, who is just back from injury himself, is a +1 arm, so they come out as even. Pinson already has 4 stolen bases, so I'll have the Reds in black, and the Cardinals will be in red. So he's automatically out on an 11. Pete Rose, who is leading the National League in average, home runs, and RBIs, will step to the plate. So I doubt that he will keep that up for the year, but he's hitting .481 with 5 home runs, 13 RBIs, 3 doubles. So we'll go ahead early on here. We'll just let him hit away. So here's the pitch from Briles to McCarver. That's a 4-7, and left-handed, that's a 2-star single. So the strategy pays off as Pete Rose lines one the other way. Brock will chase it down into the alley, and Pinson, who runs at a 16, will slide into third, and the Reds have him on the corners with nobody out. So they're going to play behind Pete Rose. Alex Johnson, who is hitting .400 himself with 4 doubles, a triple, 5 RBIs. The Cardinals are going to play back, hoping for the double play. Pete Rose is not a threat to steal, so they're again playing behind him. So we'll let Alex Johnson go ahead and hit away with nobody out. That's a 3-9 versus a righty, and that's a slow grounder to second base, rather. Only thing Javier is able to do is to throw out Johnson, and so Johnson will get his 6th RBI of the year, as Rose will make it to second. Pinson scores, and the Reds are up 1-0. So thankfully Johnson didn't hit that one hard enough. He is able to drive in his, I believe it was his 5th run of the season. And that'll bring Tony Perez, who is off to a great start as well. He's hitting .333, or actually he's leading the National League with home runs with 6, but not in RBIs. Pete's second. 12 RBIs for Tony Perez. As you can see, he only hit 18 in real life, so he is off to a above average start. So Pete Rose is on second. He is a 16 runner. The Cardinals are playing the infield back. We'll go ahead and let Perez hit away. So Briles in a little early jam here. That's a 4-3. That's a right field X. Maris is a 2-7, so he's a good glove out there. See if he's able to make the play. 16, he'll get to it. 7-8 on the air rating, and he makes the play. So nice defense there by Roger Maris. And I believe Rose will hang on at third, or at second rather, and he does. And there's 2 away. Mac Jones, new acquisition. I believe he came from the Braves. Getting his first start. He's 0 for 4 in pinch hit duties. His clutch is pretty even. His 3-2 turns to a pop out. And they're going to pitch to him. 6-8. He's a lefty. And that's a 2-star single. So that's the second time this inning we've hit Briles 6-8. But it was high enough on the 20-sided die that he will just get a single as he lines a base hit to right field. Maris will throw it into second as Rose scores easily as he was running with 2 outs. And the Reds are up 2-0. So Matt gets his first base hit of the season. Drives in a run in the process. And the Reds are up 2-0. So that'll bring up the star of our replay, Johnny Bench, who has turned things around since we last visited with you. He's hitting .280, a couple home runs, 9 RBIs, 4 doubles. They're playing behind Jones, and Jones gets a lead at 5-6, automatically out on a 7. So we'll let Bench go ahead and hit away. That's a 4-10, and that's popped up on the infield. The Cardinal shortstop Maxville will call for it and catch it for out number 3. So the Reds draw first blood as they get 2 runs on 3 base hits, no errors. They leave a runner on. We've played a half an inning here in St. Louis. The Reds 2, the Cardinals coming to bat. Hall of Famer Lou Brock will lead things off here in the bottom of the first. He is hitting .275, 3 RBIs, a triple and a double to his credit. Again, Cloninger is 0-0. He has 1 start so far with a .579 ERA. I believe he had a I know he had a no decision. I think it was against Atlanta, if I remember correctly. So Lou Brock, left-handed left fielder, will step into the plate. He gets a 2-4, and that's going to be a triple. That's trouble. So right off the bat, the Cardinals answer back. Again, my replay forgetting that it's 1968. So that will be the second triple of the year for Lou Brock, and he is perched at third with nobody out. So Curt Flood, who's hitting .267 with 4 RBIs. We're going to go ahead and play the infield back. We'll concede that run not to give up a big inning. So Cloninger seeing if he can hold on to the Red lead here. That's a 6-6 versus a righty, and that's grounded down to third. It says B. I think that will hold Brock at third, I think. Perez comes up with it, looks Brock back, and fires onto Rose for out number 1. So the Reds get the benefit of the infield in without actually having the infield in, so 1 away. Roger Ramirez will step to the plate. He's hitting .233 with an RBI, not off to a great start. Again, we'll play the infield back. Let's go ahead. Got that first out. I'm going to bring the infield in. See if we can cut off that run. See if that strategy backfires. So Roger Maris with the infield in. That's a 5-5 versus a lefty, and he strikes out. So Cloninger with his 3rd strikeout of the year. Strikeout number 5 for Maris. He checks his swing. They appeal to the third base umpire, and he rings him up. So 2 away. So it didn't matter where we had the infield for that one. So that'll bring Orlando Cepeda, former Giant, to the plate. He's hitting .170 with a home run and 2 RBIs. So the infield obviously back. Clutch situation here. Orlando Cepeda is 2-7, 1-11, and 12 turned to pop up, so he's not that great of a clutch hitter. That's a 6-6 and a righty. That's another grounder to third. Perez will throw on to Rose for his 2nd assist of the inning, and the Reds dodge a bullet, so the Cardinals waste a leadoff triple. So a hit and a runner left on. We've played 1, 2-0 Cincinnati. And this Reds team in real life out-hit anybody else in the National League. So Chico Ruiz will get his first, actually his 2nd start. He started 1 game at first for the injured Lee May. Pete Rose is playing first today. He's normally playing right field. Again, this is May's last game that he will be injured. Ruiz is hitting .714, so he's off to a good start in 7 at-bats. That's a .410. He's hitting lefty, and that's a fly ball out to left field. So Ruiz hits one the other way, but Brock is there. Out number 1. Leo Cardenas, shortstop, is hitting .310 with 9 RBIs. He has got some very clutch hits, as you can see, from 9 RBIs already here in game number 13. That's a 3-3, and he draws a walk. Not a lot of walks in 1968, but Cardenas gets his 2nd one of the year. First one given up by Browse today, as he is not terribly sharp so far. Trying to gain his rhythm. So we got runner on first. Tony Cloninger is a 6 in with power. With 1 out, I think we'll go ahead and let him hit away. The Cardinals have the corners in, expecting a possible bunt. So we get a 4-7. He's a righty, got a 17, needs a 17, got a 13, so that's a 1-star single. So 4-7, 13 on the 20-sided die. And Cloninger gets a base hit. So the runners have runners on first and second with nobody out, or 1 out rather. For Veda Pinson, who's 1 for 1 with a run scored. And he has just 2 RBIs, hitting .281 after the single in the first inning. That's a 5-4. That's a third base X. Shannon is a .222, so pretty good range. Is a little error prone. See if he can make the play, but he rolls a 1. The Reds have done this all year long. Only a 1 or 2 out of a 20 would have been a hit, and we roll a 1. We get a 9 on the air, so there is no error. So Shannon actually is able to field it, but not able to get a throw off. So that'll be an infield single for Pinson. And the bases are loaded and corroded with Cincinnati Reds. For Pete Rose, National League average leader right now at .491. He singled and scored. So the Cardinals are bringing the corners in, trying to get the double play up the middle. So we'll go ahead and let Rose hit away. He's got 13 RBIs, leading the National League in that category. That's a 4-12, and he walks. So how about that? Like I said, it's been like this all replay. So a bad time for Browse to be wild as Rose drives in RBI number 14. And the Reds still have the bases loaded, up 3-0. For Alex Johnson, who is grounded to second, driving in a run in his first at bat. This time the Cardinals are playing infield back, trying for the double play all the way around. That's a 5-9, and that will be a fly ball out to center field. That will be deep enough to score Cloninger, who runs at a 13. Pretty good for a pitcher. Pinson will hold up at second. And so, without the benefit of a hit, Alex Johnson has driven in 2 runs today. So that's a sacrifice fly out to center field. Out number 2. Cloninger will score. And the Reds are up 4-0. For Tony Perez, who flew out to Roger Maris in his first at bat of the game. Here's the pitch from Bryle. That's a 5-8, and he strikes out. So for the second inning in a row, the Reds score 2. They had a couple base hits, no errors. They leave 2 on thanks to the 2 walks. And we've played 1.5 here at Busch Stadium, 4-0 Cincinnati. Tim McCarver, just back from injury, will lead off for the Cardinals. He's hitting 182 with an RBI and 11 at bats. So the Cardinals trying to make a game of it here. 6-7, that's a second base X. Chico Ruiz getting his first start at second base today is a 321. So we'll see if he can make the play. It's an 11, so he gets to it. 13, but he makes an error. So Ruiz not able to make the play as he boots it, and the Cardinals get their first runner on of the inning. Tommy Helms getting the day off. Probably would have made that play. So McCarver, actually we're probably going to need to hold him. He doesn't have the star, but we'll hold him. That brings up Mike Shannon, who's hitting 205 with an home run and 4 RBIs. We'll see what the Cardinals do here. They're going to let Shannon hit away. And that's a 4-7, and that's a walk. Cloninger getting in some trouble here. Gives up his first walk of the game. The Cardinals have runners on first and second with nobody out. So I bring up Julian Javier. He's a C bunter, but you got 8 and 9 coming up next, so I don't think he's going to bunt. So I'm going to keep the infield back, and he indeed is not going to bunt. Here's the pitch from Cloninger. That's a 6-9, and that's bad. So that's going to be a 2-star single. So that's a liner to right field. Jones will field it. McCarver will score without a throw, and Shannon will make it into third. And the Cardinals are down by 3. Again, so far in this replay, nobody has told these players that it's 1968 because we're getting some high scores. So Javier will be held on first. If he gets a 7, he gets a lead. We're going to play the infield back. Again, we're up by 3, so trying to get some outs here. Dal Maxville will step to the plate. He's hitting 297 with 3 RBIs. And they're going to let Maxville hit away. That's a 4-6, and he walks. So here we go again. Bases loaded. For Nelson Browse, who is a 2W. So we got the bases loaded. I'm going to bring the corners in here. He is an A bunter, so we'll see what they're going to let him hit away. Hopefully we can get something good here. That's a 5-6, and he walks. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a strikeout. 5-6. I got some new dice, so I'm still getting used to make sure I read them correctly. So, but that is a strikeout. So finally, out number 1. Brings Lou Brock up. He tripled in his first at bat and was stranded there. So we're gonna, it's 4-1. Let's go ahead and put the infield back again, trying to get some outs here. Here's the pitch from Cloninger. That's a 3-9, and that'll be bounced back to the pitcher. That's a B. I think he's going to try to go for the double play. Nope, on a B, he actually gets the lead runner at home. So that's a good thing about the computer. I don't have to look that up. So he throws the bench for out number 2. And Javier makes it to third, Maxville to second. Fielder's choice for Brock. So Cloninger is 1 out from getting out of a big pickle here. So he's got Kurt Flood, who hit 301, 5 home runs and 60 RBIs in real life. He is not a clutch hitter. His 1-8 turns to a pop out. So here we go. Cloninger trying to get out of the pickle here. It's a 1-5, and he's not going to do it. So that's going to be a 2-star single. Get a 15 on the 20. So he hits that to right field. Javier and Maxville will score. Brock will make it to third easily. And the Cardinals are down by 1. Two RBIs for Kurt Flood. Runner still on the corners. We're going to have to hold Flood at first. He is a good hand to steal. He's trying to, they're trying to do a double steal. How about that? So 1-8, he's out at second. 1-10, he's out at home. let's throw to second. That's our highest odds, so it's be an interesting one here. We're going to try to get the man at second. So 1-8, he's safe. And 15, and they nail him. So Johnny Bench throws him out and saves the lead by a run there. So Kurt Flood caught stealing 2-6 for out number 3. That was some interesting strategy there by the Cardinals manager, Red Shane East. However, they managed to plate 3 on just 2 base hits, 1 costly error. They left, let's see, looks like they left 1 runner on. And we've played 2 innings. It's 4-3 Cincinnati. So Mac Jones will lead off for the Reds here in the top of the 3rd. He's singled in a run so far. That's a 6-5, and that's hit hard, but right at the second baseman. Javier will field it and throw him out for out number 1. Johnny Bench is 0 for 1. He popped out to short in his first at bat. He gets a 3-11, and that's a 1-4 is a single and got a 1. I said it all year long. The Reds have been, actually everybody has. It's just amazing how much offense we're getting. So base hit up the middle for Bench. He is not a threat to score, so the Cardinals are going to play behind him. Chico Ruiz will step to the plate. He flew out to left field in his first at bat. Here's the pitch from Bryles. That's a 4-3 versus a left-hander is a right field X. Maris is a 2-7, so he made his last chance. So he gets a 6, so he will get to it. And a 5 is a rare play, which usually quite often isn't very rare, so we'll see. So it's hit out to Maris. And Maris is drifting over, and he's under it. And he makes an easy catch. So again, not a very rare play, but there it is nonetheless. So Bench on first. Leo Cardenas, 2 outs. He's walked and scored his last at bat. And that's a 1-5, and he strikes out. So Browns does a good job of keeping the Reds scoreless after the Cardinals scored 3 in their half. No runs, a hit, 1 runner left on. We go to the home half of the 3rd. Cincinnati 4, St. Louis 3. Again, the St. Louis Cardinals were the National League champions in '68. They did get beat by the Tigers in the World Series. However, they won the World Series against the Red Sox, I believe, last year in '67, if I remember correctly. So Roger Maris, who was at the plate when the Cardinals tried their double steal, will lead off here in the 3rd. That's a 2-7, and that's his column, but not his number. Just misses a lot of good stuff to pop out to first for out number 1. Orlando Cepeda grounded out to end the 1st. That's a 5-8, and that's going to be yet another walk. Walk number 3 given up by Cloninger today, as he's trying hard to lose this for the Reds. So Cepeda is a decent hand to steal. Cloninger has an impressive +9 hold rating to go with Bench's -3 arms, so Cloninger definitely not helping out Bench as far as throwing out runners. However, Bench was able to throw out that one last inning. We'll hold Cepeda on. And McCarver, who reached on an error by Ruiz and scored to lead off last inning. So Cepeda tries to get a lead. He's not able to, so they'll let McCarver hit away. That's a 3-5, and that's a single to left field. Johnson will play it, and we'll see if Cepeda tries for third. He's going to, so do You throw for the runner. Oh, that's a tough one, isn't it? Or do we keep the other runner from advancing? I'm going to throw for the runner. I'm going to go for it here. 1-12, he's safe. And he gets a 19, so Johnson guns down Cepeda at third. Slide the tag, and he's out. So good job by Johnson, who's not known as a great fielder. But made a fine play there as he guns out Cepeda at third. So that's a 7-5 put out. Carver singles and makes it to second on the throw. So now, instead of runners on the corners, the Cardinals have McCarver on second and 2 out. For Mike Shannon, who walked, and he was thrown out at the plate on a fielder's choice. Oh, and McCarver tries to steal third, and he gets picked off of second base. So how about that? So McCarver's going to get a ton lashing when he gets back to the dugout, as he's caught snoozing. So that's pick off 1-6 for out number 3. So not impressive base running for the Cardinals here as they come up empty-handed with a hit. No errors. Nobody ended up being left on. So after 3, it's 4-3 Cincinnati. Obviously, we rolled a 1 or a 2, or actually a 1 on the 20-sided die. The computer does that without my benefit, so I wish that we had the ability to do that, but we don't. So Cloninger will step to the plate. He singled and scored his first at bat. He'll lead off here the 4th for the Reds. That's a 2-7, and he strikes out this time. And he's a 6 in, so decent hitting pitcher, but not able to do anything this at bat. Out number 1. Vada Pinson has singled twice to get his average up to 293 for the run scored. That's a 1-4, and that's a grounder down to first base. Baseman Cepeda, and he grabs it behind the bag, and he'll wave off Browse, take it to the bag himself. Out number 2. Pete Rose is singled and walked in a run. Keep his average at 491. That's a 6-5, and that's a hard grounder down to the second baseman, Javier. He will field it with no difficulties, and for the first inning today, the Reds go in order. Bottom of the 4th coming up, the Reds up by 1. 6, 7, and 8 due for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the 4th. Mike Shannon will lead off. He was at the plate when McCarver got picked off a second. Here's the pitch from Cloninger, looking into bench for the sign. That's a 6-4. That's a shortstop X. Cardinals is a 236, so decent range, but a little error prone. So he gets a 7, so he's able to get to it, and gets a 16, and that's going to be a 2-base throwing error. So he fields it, but throws it away, and Shannon ends up at second. Second error of the game for the Reds. That's error number 2. That'll put Shannon on second, but nobody out. Javier will step to the plate. He singled and scored his last at bat, so we're going to keep the infield back. I don't think they're going to try to bunt. Javier is a C bunter. That's a 6-4. That's another shortstop, so let's see if Cardinals can play this one. Three, so he just gets to it. And 13, it makes another error. He actually had against Atlanta earlier in the year, he had a 3-error game, so he's up to 2 now. So the Cardinals get the tying run on third. Go ahead run on first, thanks to Cardinals' inaptitude on the field. So that brings up Dow Maxville. We're going to do the corners. Let's see, Javier is a threat to steal. Yep. So we're going to hold him at first. Bring the corners in. See what they do here. So they're going to swing away. And that's a 4-5. And that's going to be deep enough to center field to get the run in on a sacrifice fly. So Pinson will chase it down to the warning track. Shannon will score easily, and we have a tie ball game. So with one out, Javier at first. That brings up Bryles to the plate. So we are going to play the corners in. And hold on a second here. Computer difficulty. All right, so we got Javier on first now. Let's see. So he squares to bunt, and it's popped up, caught by Cloninger. So Bryles tries to bunt, but pops it out to the pitcher for out number 2. So 2 out for Lou Brock, who's 1 for 2 with a triple. Javier is on first. He's going to try to get a steal this time, but he's not able to get the lead, so Lou Brock will swing away. That's a 5-6, and that's a strikeout. So the Cardinals tie it up here thanks to Cardinals' 2 errors. So they get a run on no base hits, 2 errors, 1 runner left on. After 4, we are tied at 4. So the Reds have 3, 4, and 5 due up here in the top of the 5th. Alex Johnson will start off here. He's got 2 RBIs, 0 for 1 at the plate, however. That's a 5-11, and that's a fly ball out to center field. Flood will have no difficulty with that one for out number 1. Tony Perez is 0 for 2. Miles looks into McCarver for the sign, and here's the pitch. 3-10, and that's going to be a single. So Tony Perez gets his first base hit of the game, hit number 7 for Cincinnati. He lines it to left. Perez is not a threat to steal. Again, Bryles and McCarver even out to a 0. Go ahead and let Mac Jones hit away. He is 1 for 2 with an RBI single. That's a 2-10. That's a ballpark single check. You need a 1-2 for a lefty. He got a 3, so he just missed it. So 2-10. If he'd have been a right-handed hitter, he would have got the hit. But as it is, he flies out to right field for out number 2. So Johnny Bench, 2 out, Perez on first. We're going to see if he can get a lead. If he gets a lead, he has a 1-11. But he is not able to get the lead, so we'll let Bench hit away. He is 1 for 2. That's a 5-7, and that's going to be a 2-star single. Wish we could have got the lead. He would have got an RBI there, but as it is, he lines one to right field. Perez will chug into third, and the Reds have him on the corners. Bench collects his second base hit of the game. And for Chico Ruiz, who has flied out twice, his 1-10 turns to a single, so he's a bit of a clutch hitter. That's a 4-10, and that's going to be a fly ball out to left field. So Ruiz lines it the other way, but right to Brock for the 3rd out of the inning. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, 2 runners left. We go to the home half of the 5th, still 4-4. 2, 3, and 4 due up for the Cardinals here in their half of the 5th. Kurt Flood has a 2-run single. Got caught stealing shortly thereafter. That's a 1-5, and that's going to be a single. So he gets his second base hit of the game, hit number 5 for the Cardinals. He is obviously a threat to steal, so we will hold him on. Maris bunts at a D, so I don't think he's going to try to bunt. Flood does try to get a lead. He's not able to. See if he's still got a decent chance. And actually, they're going to do the hit and run. So from the hit and run chart, Maris grounds to second, and Flood will chug into second. So the hit and run at least advances the runner. So Maris grounds out to Ruiz. Flood is on second, representing the go-ahead run for Orlando Cepeda. He is walked and grounded out. Going to have to hold Flood on second, as he is a threat to steal third, which means anything hit to Ruiz might be difficult. That's a 2-6, and that's going to be trouble. It's an 8, so that's going to be hit into the alley in left center field. Nobody will get to that one. Flood will score easily, and Johnson will throw it in, but not before Cepeda is on with his second double of the year, and the Cardinals are up by 1. Big double there for Cepeda. Brings Tim McCarver to the plate as the Reds bullpen are up and stirring. Again, we'll have to hold Cepeda on at second as he can steal third, so that means Cardinals will be in a bad position to try to field something. So McCarver, 1 for 2. He gets a 1-8, and there's a 2-star single. So the Cardinals go up by 2 as McCarver drives in his second run of the game. 6-4 St. Louis. So McCarver taking advantage of his first game back, and Cloninger is tired. No wonder he takes a lot of energy to give up 6 runs. All right, let's see who the Reds have in the bullpen. So up by 2. I think we'll go with Kelslow. Let's see, so we'll do a double switch. We'll put him in at 7 and then put Tommy Helms in at second base to get our defense up a little. Kelslow will be pitching. All right. So Mike Shannon at the plate. So not a great game for Cloninger. Guess he's the 5th starter for a reason. So Bill Kelslow has pitched 3 innings with a 3 ERA. So we got 1 out. McCarver, let's see if he's a star. He's not, but we still probably need to hold him. Kelslow is a much better holder at +2 than Cloninger was. So I'm going to let Shannon hit away. He's walked and reached on an error and scored. That's a 4-8. 1-16 is a hit. Got a 12. So Kelslow picks up where Cloninger left off. That'll be a 1-star single, so McCarver holds at second. And the Cardinals have their 4th hit of the inning. And that brings up Julian Javier. He is singled in a run, scored, reached on an error. Here's the pitch from Kelslow. That's a 5-7, second base X, so Tommy Helms will get his first chance. He's a 220, a bit better than Ruiz was. We'll see if he can make the play. So he gets a 20. He doesn't make an error. It's going to be a double play. 14, and he does. 13 was an error, but he got a 14. So Tommy Helms in that defense makes a fine 4-6-3 double play to end the inning. So let's see. Shannon's out 4-6. 4-6-3 for Javier. Cardinals get 2 on 4 base hits, no errors. They leave a runner on. We go to the top of the 6th. It is now St. Louis Cardinals 6, Cincinnati Reds 4. So Nelson Briles given the lead here, seeing if he can pick up his second win of the year. We'll start off with Leo Cardinals, who has walked and scored and struck out. That's a 6-4, and that's a catcher's card X. Carver is a 2-16, so he is a bit error prone. So he gets a 4 and a 14, and he makes a 1 base error. So the Cardinals make their first error of the game. E2 for McCarver. That brings up Tommy Helms to the plate. So that brings up Tommy Helms, who was brought in on the double switch. Tommy Helms is hitting .420 with a home run and 8 RBIs. So again, a lot of these Reds are off to a hot start offensively. So let's see, we're going to try the hit and run here. I don't do that too often, but let's try it here. So he hits a grounder down to Cepeda, and Cardinals will coast into second. That brings up Vada Pinson, who is 2 for 3. Here is the pitch from Briles. That's a 2-8, and that's bounced back to the box. Briles will look Cardinals back to second base and throw on to Cepeda for out number 2. Pete Rose is 1 for 2 with a walk, an RBI, and a run scored. That's a 2-10, and that's grounded hard down to Cepeda at first. And he flips on to Briles covering, and that'll do it for the Reds in the 6th. So they get no runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 runner left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. St. Louis up by 2. So 8, 9, and 1 do up for the Cardinals here in the 6th. Bill Keslow in his second inning of work. Or Kelso, rather. Maxville has a sacrifice fly and a walk, so he has no official at bats today. That's a 3-5, and he draws yet another walk. So that's the first walk of the year given up by Kelso. Briles will step to the plate. He is a good bunter. Maxville is not a threat to steal, so we will bring the infield in for Briles. He tries to lay down a bunt. Kelso fields it and throws to first. So a successful sacrifice there. 1-3, out number 1 for Lou Brock. Put the infield back at normal. Maxville runs at a 14. Brock is 1 for 3. 6-11, and that's a short fly out to left field. Alex Johnson will charge in toward the infield and put it away for out number 2. So forgot Maxville there at second. So Kurt Flood will step to the plate. He is 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. 5-6, and he strikes out this time. So Curveball down low. Kurt Flood's not able to catch up to it. That'll do it for the Cardinals in the 6th. They leave a runner on. We go to the top of the 7th. St. Louis Cardinals 6, Cincinnati Reds 4. Alex Johnson is 0 for 2. Does have a couple RBIs to give him 7 for the season. That's a 1-5, and he leads off the 7th with a single. Bounces that one up the middle. Maxville and Javier not able to get to it. So we're going to see. So Johnson here might see what he can do. If he gets a lead, he gets a 1-15, and he is running. So 1-15, he's in there. Gets an 11, and he slides in safely. So McCarver not able to throw out Alex Johnson. He is on second base with a stolen base. So Tony Perez represents the tying run. He is 1 for 3 today. Here's the pitch from Briles. That's a 1-7, and that's a slow grounder to second baseman Javier. Johnson will advance easily to third, but the Cardinals record the first out of the inning. Mac Jones is 1 for 3 today with an RBI. Again, getting his first start in right field. That's a 6-5, and that's a grounder hard to second baseman Javier. That should be enough to score Johnson. And it is, so Johnson will score on the ground ball as the Cardinals were playing back. Mac Jones will collect his second RBI of the game, and the Reds have drawn to within 1. Johnny Bench will step up, 2 outs, nobody on. He's 2 for 3 in the game this evening. He gets a 6-8, and that's going to be a single. He just missed a triple. He did have 2 on the year, but he will settle for a single as he grounds it in between Shannon and Maxville for hit number 3. Get his average up over 300. So this is the pitcher, Kelslow. Let's see. Go ahead and pinch hit, I believe. I think both of Abernathy and Carroll are available. They're the main relievers that the Reds have. So let's see what we got on the bench for pitch hitting. You got Whitfield. We'll go with Whitfield here. So Fred Whitfield, he's hitting .235, a home run and 3 RBIs. Left-handed hitter. Pinch hitter. So get Fred's card. So they're not holding on bench. Not a great threat to steal. So Whitfield looks into the pitch from Briles, left-handed hitter. That's a 2-10, and that's grounded hard, but right down to Cepeda at first. He will flip to Briles. That will do it for the Reds in the 7th. 7th inning stretch time here in St. Louis as the Reds get a run on a couple base hits. No errors, 1 runner left on. We go to the home half of the 7th, 6-5 St. Louis Cardinals. Time for our trivia question. Who are the 2 Indians players to hit at least 50 home runs in a season? 50 home runs in a season. I'm at a loss. Albert Bell and Jim Tomei. Yep, I should have thought about that. More modern times. So let's see who the Cardinals have. Some lefties up. So Abernathy's a little better against lefties. Abernathy and Carroll both had very good years, but so far neither one of them have done very good in the replay. So far Abernathy has got a 6.14 ERA. And I don't think Carroll's is a lot better. The Reds do have an off day tomorrow, so that's it for Kelslow. Abernathy will come to the mound. His first opponent will be Roger Ramirez, who is 0 for 3 today. His average is down to 212. And we lost my dice, which happens quite regularly. That's a 5-5. He's a lefty, and that's grounded hard, but right at the second baseman. Tommy Helms for out number 1. Orlando Cepeda has a double and an RBI. It was his second double of the season. He also scored. 6-3. That's a home run check. As a righty, he needs a 5, and he got a 7. So just missed that one. Again, St. Louis Busch Stadium favors the pitchers. Both lefties and righties have the home run robbing opportunity here in St. Louis, but that was just one off of that one. So a deep fly, but Johnson will get to it for out number 2. Tim McCarver has a big clutch single, RBI single. He has 2 hits total, a run scored, get his average up to 286. It's a 6-4. That's grounded down to the second baseman, Tommy Helms. And Tommy will get his second assist of the inning as the Cardinals go in order in the 7th. Go to the top of the 8th. The Reds still down by 1. Got 8, 9, and 1 due up. Again, Tommy Helms in the 9 position from the double switch earlier. So Cardenas has walked and reached on an error. Bryles still in the game. His inning of fatigue is 8, which is where we're at now. That's a 1-7, and that's grounded hard down to the third baseman, Shannon. He sets and throws across the infield to Cepeda, out number 1. Tommy Helms get his second at bat. He grounded out to the first baseman, his first effort. Browns looks for the sign from McCarver. The pitch, 6-8, and that's going to be a single. So Helms will keep his average up over 400. As he lines one up the middle, Kurt Flood will play it on 2 hops. Tosses it back into the infield as Helms retreats back to first. So 4-6, he gets a lead. 8, he is automatically out. So we're not going to take those odds. We've got our heart of our lineup coming up here, down by 1, so we're going to go ahead and let him hit away. Vada Pinson's 2 for 4 with a couple singles. That's a 1-8. That's a fly ball out to center field. Kurt Flood will chase to the left center field alley and get to it for out number 2. Pete Rose is 1 for 3 with an RBI, a run scored. That's a 5-9 batting lefty, and that's another fly ball out toward Kurt Flood. And he will track it down for the 3rd out of the inning. Well, the Reds leave a runner on. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 6-5 St. Louis Cardinals. Ted Abernathy will take the mound for his second inning of work. He'll start off with Mike Shannon, who is 1 for 2 with a run scored. 6-6, and that's going to be a single. That's his second base hit of the game. He's reached base all 4 times, however, as he's walked and reached on one of Leo Cardenas' many errors. So he It's not a great big threat to steal, so we're going to put Rose behind him at first. Julian Javier will step to the plate. We're going to play the infield back. I don't think he will try to bunt, and he is not. Javier is 1 for 3 with an RBI single. That's a 1-6, and he whiffs. Abernathy with the fastball right down the middle. Javier not able to pull the trigger. Out number 1. Dal Maxville has walked twice. Sandwiched in between a sacrifice fly. That's a 5-6, and that's grounded hard down to Cardinals at short. He shovels it on to Tommy Helms, who makes the pivot, avoiding Shannon sliding in to second. And that will be a 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. Last chance here for the Reds. They've got 3, 4, and 5 due up. Nelson Briles still on the mound. See who the Cardinals, who their main reliever was. Looks like Joe Horner, who was amazing. 1.47 ERA. He only pitched 49 innings, though. 17 saves, so he must not have been available to them the whole year. It looks like Ron Willis had actually one more relief appearance than Horner did, but we'll see what they do here. So Alex Johnson is 1 for 3 with a couple RBIs. Trying to get the Reds back in it here. This is the last game of the 2-game series. That's a 4-3, and that's a right field X. Maris is a 2-7. Pretty good fielder. See if he can get to it. 13 he does. 7-9 and makes the play. So nice defense there by Maris as he tracks one down the line. Makes the play up against the stands for out number 1. Tony Perez could tie this ball game up easily. He already has 6 home runs. Here is the pitch from Briles. That's a 110. That's a ballpark check, a single check. He needs a 7, and he got a 6. So Tony Perez will get his second base hit of the game. As he lines it up the middle. So that brings Mac Jones to the plate. Mac is 1 for 4 with a couple RBIs. Tony Perez being held on first. We're not going to chance that, so we'll let Mac Jones swing away here. Again, a couple RBIs already to his credit today. That's a 3-6, and that's a hard grounder down to Cepeda at first. He will fire on to Maxville at short. He avoids Perez to throw on back to first for the game-ending, inning-ending 3-6-3 double play. So the Reds fall short this time. Check out our box score here. So the Cardinals get 6 runs on 9 hits, 1 error. The Cincinnati Reds get 5 runs on 12 hits, 3 errors. The Reds fall to 8-5. The Cardinals improve to 8-5. Cloninger takes the loss to go to 0-1. Nelson Briles gets the complete game win, even though he gave up 12 hits and 5 runs. He was able to hang on for the 2-1, or the victory rather, to go to 2-1. And let's see. Let me look and see what the other stats are here real quick. So the Pirates won yesterday. They beat the Dodgers. Let me look at the newspaper style recap here. Yeah, so Atlanta beat the Cubs 9-1. Houston beat up on the Mets 5-2. Houston was in last place. They still are, but improved to 4-9. The Reds dropped to tied for second at 8-5. The Dodgers got shut out 1-0 in Pittsburgh. Looks like and then San Francisco beat the Phillies 2-0. So San Francisco 7-7, Philadelphia 7-7. So the Reds are 2 games out. Again, they have tomorrow off. And then they start a 3-game series in Cincinnati against the New York Mets. So anyway, it's been a while since I put a game up and wanted to get one up. And again, the Reds go down in defeat 6-5. So I will see you next time.